WWE 2K26's Ringside Pass number 2 will release next Wednesday on April 15th, and we have some first looks and some MyFaction personas to go over today, so let's dive right into it. We'll start with some of those first looks because we saw Demolition, 3 of our 4 DLC characters for Pass number 2. If you purchase the Monday Night Wars edition of this game, you will get this in your game. If you purchase the Attitude Era edition of this game, you will also get that pass. If you purchase the King of Kings or Standard edition of the game, you'll have to buy this separately for $9.99. However, 2K have realized some of their major issues with pass number 1, and they have made it so that all 4 of your DLC characters will be behind tier number 1 instead of being locked across the first 20 tiers. But even if these DLC characters were locked across the first 20 tiers, we will get 20 free tiers unlocked straight away if you play the game before April 14th, which I think is a huge bonus because not only will we get those 4 DLC characters, we will get, I think it was 30 rewards as well. This will be half of the entire premium pass, which will likely unlock you a couple of personas, maybe some arenas or championships as well, and that extra content in the form of MFP, VC, MyFaction tokens, MyFaction cosmetics, and stuff like that. And we can only hope that that leads to some cool stuff within the free track of Pass number 2, because Pass 1 gave us some unlockable legends, and I think it is possible that we could get some extra rewards within the free track, though I'm not going to hold my breath on it because I don't want to get my hopes up if it is something disappointing, or we just get MFP, VC, etc. sliced in there. But our first looks come in the form of Demolition because we see Axe and Smash side by side, and maybe it's just me, but Smash looks a little more generic than he looked in real life. Maybe it's just me, maybe it's the screenshot, I don't know. Axe looks like a spitting image of Demolition Axe, but Smash, I don't exactly see the face there. Maybe it's just me, but I think Smash could get a little bit of an upgrade. And Crush, you can't really tell because of the expression on his face, because in a second screenshot, we see Crush battling Devon Dudley with Smash on the apron in the background. And again, Smash's face doesn't exactly look like Smash to me, and Crush, you can't really tell with the expression. However, Demolition do have a huge place in history, because until the New Day broke the record in 2016, and the Usos broke that record later on, Demolition were the longest reigning tag team champions of all time in the WWE/F. They are legends in the business from the golden era particularly, and while they don't exactly cater to me, and I likely won't wind up playing with them too much, I do think they are a nice inclusion to finally get into the series, because the last time we saw Axe and Smash, I want to say was WWE 12, and the last time we saw Crush, I can't even remember because I don't think we've ever gotten Crush within a 2K game or even SVR for that matter. The 4th star of this DLC pack that we have not seen just yet at the time of recording is Kelly Kelly, a star of the Divas era particularly, though she did have a stint in ECW and has made various returns over the past few years. Kelly by far is the most exciting star in this pack for me. Kelly Kelly is someone who I grew up watching until she inevitably stepped away from the ring, I want to say in 2012, 2013, and her last video game appearance was WWE 13, which means she has been out of the series for over a decade. But in terms of personas for this potential pass, I think we could see a different version of Kelly Kelly. Now, we don't exactly know which version of Kelly Kelly we're getting just yet, but as I mentioned, she has had various stints with different looks throughout. So I think some possible looks for Kelly Kelly could be 2011, 2012, something from that era, maybe something from ECW, and possibly something from either the 2018 or 2022 Royal Rumbles. I think she was involved at one of the Evolution events as well. I don't specifically remember, but if we get a more modern Kelly Kelly, I also wouldn't complain, especially if we get a different look as a persona throughout the pass. But more potential for personas throughout the pass include Crush, a member of Demolition who was also a solo wrestler in the 80s and 90s. I'm not too up to date on my Crush lore, but I do believe he had a WrestleMania match with Macho Man. Don't quote me on that because I don't know for sure, but I do believe out of Demolition, Crush had the most substantial singles run, but someone who also had a singles run was Smash, or the man behind Smash, because he also portrayed the Repo Man in the 80s or 90s, I don't remember the specific era. I believe it was like new generation era in the mid-90s or something like that, but again, don't quote me, it's not my time period. So I think we could see either a Solo Crush or a Repo Man as a persona throughout this specific pass as well. But in terms of other personas throughout the pass, I did make a video speculating on some possible personas throughout the game, and I have mentioned various times on this channel that the Ruthless Aggression era is my era, so I would love to see something from the 2002 to 2008 time period. Some personas that specifically come to mind include Kofi Kingston, Batista, Randy Orton, stars of that caliber, or even I would like to see some updated stars throughout this pass, such as Kit Wilson, Rayo and Bravo, or Natty, or even Obafemi with his new hairstyle, Trick Williams with his new look, something like that. I would just like to see something updated throughout this pass, but I would also love to see some love throughout the Ruthless Aggression as well. But no matter what the personas are, I just hope we get a better effort than pass number 1, because we had Elite Jacob Fatu. I don't think anyone asked for or wound up playing as Elite Jacob Fatu. No offense. If you did and you do like the Mattel figures, let me know, but I do think they are very unfavorable and they're definitely not my cup of tea. And Stephanie Vaquer, I'm a huge fan, but a blue attire for Stephanie Vaquer I don't think should suffice as a DLC add-on, because she very well could have just gotten a blue color swap of her attire added as an alternate attire for free, but she was one of your 2 personas, which I think was very disappointing. So going into pass number 2, I just hope for some better personas. I think it's also possible that we could see some arenas or championships throughout this pass. I did talk about how Demolition isn't exactly from my era of wrestling. However, some arenas that we could potentially see that relate to them include Superstars, an old Saturday Night's Main Event, or even WrestleMania, specifically WrestleMania 4, which is where they won their very first tag team championships, which would go on to that long championship reign. Something that relates to Kelly Kelly, maybe a WWECW arena or something like that, maybe a SmackDown 2011 arena, something like that, but that's not something I would specifically like to see, even though that is more my time period. Maybe in the free track, just because I think we've seen that all in past years. For championships, I don't think there's really anything character specific, because I do believe those tag championships that Demolition held are in the game. I do believe the Divas championship that Kelly Kelly held is in the game. So in terms of championships, the only thing I could really see them adding would be the AAA belts again. We got the Mega and Reina de Reinas championships, but we have plenty of other AAA championships that haven't been included into the game yet. So I think we could see the likes of the mixed tag team championships, the regular tag team championships, the Latin American championship, or the Cruiserweight championship. I can't remember if there's any more, but I think that covers all the bases. But maybe we get some more AAA championships within the game, because the rest of the passes include AAA stars. Now, I'm gonna be real. Since the last update, I haven't played the game a single time. But since the last update, we have gotten some new MyFaction personas that I think damn near ruin the game, or at least the game mode, for a lot of people. We got some exciting personas either at launch or more recently, including Kofi Kingston 2017, Liv Morgan 2024, Jean-Paul Levesque, Triple H 99, Brock Lesnar 01, Drew McIntyre 2010, and more. But here is how you unlock all of those personas, and it is not going to make anybody happy. With Kofi Kingston 2017, he's locked behind a live event where you need a Momentum Kalani Jordan card as well as a bronze Lola Vice. That's not too bad. You only need 1 card. Sure, whatever. For 3 encore events for Brock Lesnar 01, you need to unlock Jacob Fatu Aftershock. Fine, just 1 card, right? No, because you need to complete the entire collection set for Aftershock to unlock Jacob Fatu. That means you need to get from the Aftershock set Andre the Giant, the Great Khali, Bronson Reed, Nia Jax, Omos, and Otis. For Masked Dominic Mysterio 2023 from WrestleMania 29, you need the Javon Evans Momentum card. Fine, just 1 card, right? No, because to unlock that, you need Kalani Jordan, Blake Monroe, Ricky Saints, Trick Williams, and Sol Ruka from the Momentum set. And finally, for those Encore events, for Jean-Paul Levesque, you will need Triple H 99, which is a persona. So to unlock both of those personas, you will need from the Legends set, Goldberg, Lita, Stone Cold Steve Austin 97, Mark Henry, and Yokozuna. There is also an Alexa Bliss 2025 live event that is not returned as an Encore yet, but to unlock Alexa Bliss 2025, if that does return as an Encore, you will need from the Touch of Madness set, The Fiend Bray Wyatt 2023. Just one card. Right? No, because to get that, you will need Bull Nakano, Tama Tonga, OGL Grande Americano, Afa, Sika, Kairi Sane, Dragon Lee, and Lexus King from the Touch of Madness set. But that's where it ends, right? There's personas we've already seen, that's where the collection sets end, right? No, because for the most recent persona and something that a lot of people want, for Liv Morgan 2024, you will need Jade Cargill from the Undeniable pack. But how do you get Jade Cargill? Well, you need Cody Rhodes, CM Punk Retro, John Cena 03, AJ Styles, Kalani Jordan 2023, Victoria, Becky Lynch, and Billy Gunn from the Undeniable packs. If you wait on this and it returns as an Encore event, you will need to spend upwards of 200 to 300,000 VC or MyFaction points, which is over $100 in real cash. What are they doing to this game in this mode? I know MyFaction has always been bad, but I played some MyFaction last year. To get most of the personas that showed up in live events, you would maybe need a specific card. To get that specific card, you would maybe need to open some packs, maybe need to get it from the card market, but there was no instance to my memory where you needed to complete an entire collection of multiple specific cards to earn another card to then earn that persona. I don't think that was the thing in 2K25 or 2K24. MyFaction has been a mode that people have thought was money hungry and they've wanted it out of the game for a while, and 2K are not helping themselves by making MyFaction even worse. So that has been my MyFaction rant in our first looks at Ringside Pass number 2. Ringside Pass number 2 that I am excited for, despite me not being particularly attached to 3/4 of its DLC characters, and I hope that it pulls me back into the game that I spent oh so much money on. Like the video if you enjoyed it, and subscribe to the channel for more videos like this in the future. Let me know which DLC character you're most excited for. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you next time.